So I'm Chloe Macintosh. I'm the co-founder and creative director of Made.com. So I fell into the tech sector a little bit by accident. I actually was an architect for many years before that, working in a very male-orientated industry. And I found the tech sector was actually very welcoming to diversity and to women in general, because there was an opportunity to, build something, probably more from a consumer perspective. And I think as women, we are probably the biggest, most attractive audience for any business today, the most powerful, the most influential. And the internet is really providing a platform for women to build businesses around who they are and what they think the message and the product should be. So I think there's a great opportunity there. The gender gap, is a complex issue which I've never really been myself, sort of confronted to personally. I was lucky to start very young as an architect and go up the ladder and be very aggressive actually about asking for promotion and asking for getting more money. And I think it's really important to constantly ask. And women maybe sometimes don't feel that they should be asking. They feel that they don't deserve such and such promotion, and men are more aggressive in some ways. But I really would encourage girls to just ask. And the more they ask, the more opportunity they might get to get an answer, a positive answer around getting what they want. And then besides that, again, I think with the tech sector and the business that I've been involved with as when it's my own business, I really put a lot of accent around hiring people that don't necessarily come from the same industry, where I can offer them a salary that's just related to what they can offer and not where they come from, which put everyone at the same level. So I look at what they can bring to my business and not necessarily their credential and their university degrees, because deep business is going to evolve so fast that their ability to change and adapt is way more important than the sort of level of education that they may have got or previous experience. I don't really see a difference between my work life and my family life. I try and bring my kids into my work life as much as possible and explain to them why I'm not home very often, and get them to make choices with me around my business. So when at Made we launched a kids collection, they actually came in as my user group, and them and their mates. We chose all the colors together, they did all the campaign, and it makes them just really close to what I do, and they're a lot more understanding for the times where I'm not around. So important. And I try not to be too, not to brainwash them too much around, having a mother who has put a really strong accent, in her career for, making it a success, and it's a priority in my life. I was raised by a single mother, so I always felt that working was going to be hyper important for me. And I think they are getting a little bit intimidated by it, but at the same time, that's the only way forward. They need to see that women can really take the lead. And I hope my boys, it's so important to think of how we raise boys, not just girls. Ultimately, they're the decision makers of the future too. And so getting them to understand how to talk to women and understand women and accept women as their equal is so important. And that's really what I'm trying to do with the boys. I find that the level of communication and sharing ability between women has an enormous impact. I feel it at my level. When I feel insecure about a decision, I have my little network of women that I go to, and they are like sisters, and we get really close together, and I think all of the judgments and everything get erased entirely, and we focus around what the person needs. And I really believe that for women to get together and feel they can talk to other women, share the success and the failure, understand that the other women who have been in those situations, and maybe other men too, I don't mean really to isolate the two, But there is great benefits in when women get together, something happens. I mean, you know what I'm talking about, and it's not really, you can't recreate it. So I think it's essential. I think it's really important that we empower the women in developing countries to then become leaders in their own countries. I don't think we should be telling them what to do. I think we should give them the tools, the voice, and the confidence to become those women for their community. That absolutely.